So in closing, actually, I do want to touch on another brief point about your dairy project in Punjab. But just before we go into that, let's just touch base on the issue about corruption. It's an age-old problem. I know you've made efforts in setting up a website, anti-corruption efforts called saveourpunjab.com. Now, this website encourages statewide reporting of corruption for locals as well as NRIs on anonymous basis. Once again, it's www.saveourpunjab.com. Can you tell us a little bit more about this initiative that you started in curbing corruption, and perhaps if you can give us some idea as to the number of cases that have been reported through this website and the closure rate of sort of follow-throughs and any cases that have been investigated and led to sort of successful conclusions.
We received a large number of cases that have been referred to us, well into double digits. Each one of them we refer to the relevant authorities. The sad part is that we don't get feedback from the authorities, so I can't report on where we are, where the government is with those investigations. If I had to hazard a guess, I would probably think that the government has not acted on the information provided. That is a sad truth. We live in a system which is highly corrupt. We live in a system which is exceedingly inefficient. Not only is the government very poor at raising resources, but it is very inefficient at spending what precious resources it has.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tool called the Right to Information Act that is making things a little bit easier. You know, under RTI, you now have access to pretty much to most government files. You can seek information. Sometimes the officers routinely delay it, but you know, sooner or later you end up with the information and you can act on that information. We have a number of non-governmental organizations which are referred to as NGOs
mm-hmm.
that are active in Punjab.
Right.
Organizations like Resurgence India, and they are very active on the RTI front. They are also very active on the PIL front, public interest litigation.
Right.
And they have raised issues which people they have brought up facts which have resulted in further actions.
Mm-hmm.
I think what is required is today in India we do not have a fear of prosecution or a fear of conviction.
Uh-huh.
Even if you have corrupt officers, and corrupt politicians, caught effectively red-handed. The legal process here is so tortuous that they can delay the proceedings for a long time.
It's unfortunate, I must say. But anyway, let's talk about something interesting, and this is about the dairy project in Punjab, MDVL, which is the Macro Dairy Ventures Limited, which you have set up in. Tell us a little bit about that, and my question to you would be, what kind of green technologies have you introduced in this project? First of all, we'd like to know more about the dairy project.
Yeah, the basic objective of the project is clean milk production. It has a very big social remit because we are empowering an awful lot of women from poor households, ladies who are literally penniless, who have no income earning opportunity. We are training them up to be dairy farmers. We are spending lots of money creating infrastructure. In Canadian dollars, the project is well over $30 million already.
Right.
We are covering a large number of villages. I accept that not every MLA can do this. I accept that I'm privileged to be in a position where I have the financial resources to be able to facilitate investment to this extent. But I've been at it for 3 years now. We have provided gainful employment to hundreds of women, lots of jobs, hundreds of jobs for unemployed youth. We've engaged hundreds of contract farmers. By the time the next elections come around in Punjab, we will have provided gainful employment to at least 4,000 women.
Wow.
Created at least another 1,500 jobs, and probably engaged 1,500 farmers in producing fodder for us, which again is part of diversification.
Right.
Farmers otherwise would have produced paddy and wheat, but we are encouraging them to farm fodder for us. They are doing it very gladly because we are giving them a higher remuneration than the rice-wheat combination.
Right.
As green initiatives are concerned, we are collecting dung, and we are converting dung to gas. We're using that gas methane. We're capturing methane, which otherwise is very harmful to the environment, 24 times as harmful as carbon dioxide.
Right.
And we are using that methane to generate electricity.
Excellent. Well, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you. I mean, you're almost referred to as the most responsive MLA. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about that, how you managed to get that particular title.
Well, that is a tongue-in-cheek title. That's something that we've labelled ourselves because there's a link on my site, and we invite everybody just test us, because routinely speaking, people in India do not expect their elected representatives to get back to them, and I always make an effort to get back. Sometimes I can't get back the same day because of pressures of work, but I try to come back. I try to prioritize, and I try to come back as soon as possible. On my website, we have a rule in my office that we have to send a substantive reply back within 72 hours.
Right.
And our performance rating on that is actually quite good. 96, 97% of the time we get a substantive reply off. Sometimes we can't because we simply do not have the information to go back with the reply. In which case we explain our difficulty. Anybody who submits an issue on that button will get an automated response and a substantive response within 2 hours.
Excellent. In closing, Mr. Khangura, what message would you like to give our listeners worldwide?
I would like more non-resident Indians to return to India to participate in Indian politics. I think we can bring a fresh perspective and a more honest perspective to Indian politics. We need to improve levels of integrity and probity. Only then will we be able to pass the legislation and enforce the laws that will require a cleaner administration.
Thank you so much for your time. Khangura sahab, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. For more information about Mr. Jassi Khangura and an update on the NRI blacklist, please visit www.kilaraipur.org. That's www.kilaraipur.org. For updates about Sarbjit Singh, please visit www.freesarbjitsingh.com, where you can sign the petition. That's www.freesarbjitsingh.com. Excel Radio would also like to thank Mrs. Jasveer Kaur Uppal, a lawyer from UK, helping increase awareness about Sarbjit Singh and other human rights issues. Nale Nalasi, Tanvat Karna Chonia, Deep Jagera Sahib for helping set this interview. Tanvat Bahut Wada Jagera Sahib. Thank you for listening to Excel Radio. And just a reminder, the contents of this interview, copyright of Excel Radio, and may not be copied, broadcasted, published, or distributed electronically or otherwise without the expressed written permission of Excel Radio Canada. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.